U.S. Vice President's Ascendancy to the Presidency. The office of Vice President of the United States is often overshadowed by the presidency, but its role in American politics is crucial. The Vice President serves as both a legislative leader and the President's key advisor, stepping into the presidential role if necessary. But beyond these duties, the history of U.S. Vice Presidents reveals fascinating stories of ambition, power, and legacy. When the U.S. Constitution was first established in 1789, the office of Vice President was intended as a backup, someone to step in if the President became unable to serve. This position was filled by John Adams, the first Vice President under George Washington. Adams, while largely overshadowed by Washington during their time in office, would later become the second President of the United States. Since its creation, 49 individuals have held the office of Vice President. While it was initially a largely ceremonial role, over time, Vice Presidents began to play more significant parts in the administration. Today, the Vice President is an essential member of the executive branch, often involved in key policy decisions and international affairs. The U.S. Constitution grants the Vice President two primary responsibilities: serving as President of the Senate and assuming the presidency if the President dies, resigns, or is removed from office. This clear line of succession has had profound impacts on the course of American history. 15 Vice Presidents have ascended to the presidency. 9 of these transitions were the result of a president's death or resignation. For example, when President William McKinley was assassinated in 1901, Vice President Theodore Roosevelt became president and went on to reshape the nation's policies. In 1963, after the assassination of John F. Kennedy, Vice President Lyndon Johnson swiftly assumed the presidency, guiding the nation through a turbulent time in U.S. history. The line of succession, though rarely tested, has always been a fundamental safeguard of stability in American government. 6 Vice Presidents ascended to the presidency through election rather than succession. 4 would ascend to president in the next election immediately following their tenure as Vice President. John Adams, who became the second president after serving under George Washington; Thomas Jefferson, who succeeded Adams as president; Martin Van Buren, who followed Andrew Jackson and George H.W. Bush following the presidency of Ronald Reagan. 2 would be elected president in a later electoral cycle: Richard Nixon and Joe Biden. Nixon's rise to the presidency in 1968, after serving under Dwight Eisenhower, followed a turbulent time in American politics. He had lost following the Eisenhower presidency to John F. Kennedy in 1960. Lyndon Johnson, following his unexpected ascension after Kennedy's assassination, was elected president in 1964, securing a landslide victory. Due to the escalation and failures of the Vietnam War, Johnson chose not to run for a second term. Nixon would come back to defeat Hubert Humphrey to ascend to the presidency. George H.W. Bush, after serving under Ronald Reagan, won the presidency in 1988, maintaining a strong link to Reagan's conservative policies. Joe Biden served as Barack Obama's vice president for 8 years and played a pivotal role in the administration's foreign policy, healthcare reforms, and domestic initiatives. Choosing not to run after the end of the Obama administration, Hillary Clinton would lose to Donald Trump. Biden would return, running against Donald Trump in his second-term bid. His deep experience and visibility as vice president helped to propel him to the presidency in 2020. Modern vice presidents often take on significant policy and diplomatic roles. They are often sent abroad to represent the United States in international negotiations, trade agreements, and peace efforts. Their global presence provides the president with support and can enhance U.S. influence worldwide. This role continues to evolve, as today's vice presidents often find themselves shaping public opinion both at home and abroad. Domestically, the vice president is a senior advisor to the president, with an active voice in shaping policy. Although they do not have formal voting powers within the cabinet, their influence on key issues is undeniable. Whether handling a diplomatic crisis or steering legislation through Congress, the vice president's role has grown far beyond its original purpose. While many vice presidents have used their position to launch presidential campaigns, Others have faced controversies that shaped their political legacy. Whether stepping into the presidency through succession or being elected to it, the vice president remains a central figure in the leadership of the nation. It is an integral part of American politics, bridging the gap between the executive and legislative branches, and ensuring the continuity of leadership when the nation needs it most. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.